showed tanks partially flooded. This was not a boat that had been hit by depth charges or gunfire. This was a boat that had deliberately gone down. But the most disturbing discoveries came from the aft compartments. The crew quarters showed signs of hasty abandonment. Personal effects were scattered across bunks and deck plates. Photographs, letters, uniforms still hung on hooks. The galley had food prepared but not eaten. Coffee cups sat on tables, their contents long dissolved into the surrounding water. It appeared the crew had been in the middle of a normal day when something happened. The engineering spaces told a different story. The diesel engines were cold, their fuel lines closed. The electric motors showed no signs of damage or malfunction. The battery compartments were intact. There was no mechanical failure that would have forced an emergency dive. The then the cameras found the box. 49 men, the entire crew remained aboard. Most were in the engine compartment, areas that would have flooded last as the boat descended. Conditions of the remains unconscious when the water came in. They had tried to reach the escape hatches. They had failed. Naval forensic experts analyzing the footage noted something that made the scene even more horrific. The escape trunk in the conning tower, the standard emergency exit for U-boat crews, showed no signs of use. The hatch at the top was secured from the outside. The mechanism that should have allowed the crew to open it from within had been disabled. The hatch was secure. Someone had locked them in, and then sent the boat to the bottom. The cargo hold revealed what may have prompted such a drastic measure. Standard procedure for U-boats returning from patrol was to offload torpedoes and ammunition before entering port. U-320 carried a full weapons load, but she also carried something else. Stacked in the hold were wooden crates marked with SS insignia. The crates had partially deteriorated, but their contents were still identifiable. Documents, files, record books, the kind of material that organizations destroy when they fear capture. Among the crates were smaller containers made of lead. Radiation surveys conducted by the remotely operated vehicle detected elevated levels consistent with uranium compounds. Not weapons-grade material, but concentrated enough to suggest these were samples or experimental materials. The presence of such cargo on a combat submarine in May 1945 was extraordinary. U-boats had been used throughout the war to transport strategic materials, technical experts, and high-value cargo between Germany and Japan. But those missions were carefully planned and documented. U-320 had been listed as a combat patrol, not a cargo run. Her departure had been rushed, her orders vague. Whatever she was carrying had been loaded in secret. The final piece of evidence came from the conning tower itself. Welded to the exterior hull, just below the hatch, was a steel plate engraved with a single sentence in German. Wounded die Zukunft, for the fatherland and the future. This was not a war grave. This was a tomb, and the men inside had been sacrificed to keep its contents hidden. The final voyage. Reconstructing the final hours of U-320 required cross-referencing fragmentary evidence from multiple sources. German naval records captured after the war included patrol orders, wireless traffic logs, and personnel files. Allied intelligence had intercepted some communications. Norwegian resistance fighters
So
had
3, we'll just put it on before bed.
and the wreck itself provided forensic evidence that filled in the gaps.
Alright,
U-320 departed Kristiansand on May 2nd, 1945. Germany would surrender unconditionally 6 days later, but that outcome was already inevitable. The Wehrmacht was collapsing on all fronts. Berlin had fallen. Hitler was dead. The men boarding U-320 knew they were sailing into a lost war. The crew manifest showed 49 submariners, most of them veterans with multiple patrols. Captain Lieutenant Heinrich Jakobsen had commanded the boat since her commissioning in 1943. His record showed competence but not brilliance. He was the kind of officer who followed orders and kept his crew alive. Exactly the kind of man he would choose for a mission that required discretion. Wireless intercepts showed that U-320 transmitted a single message 12 hours after departure. The transmission was brief and encrypted.
Edible arrangements have always been my go-to for getting my friends' gifts last minute. They always deliver a wow factor with their gifts, and their stuff is always so high quality. Oh, and these bad boys can be delivered same day. Get anything from fruit to cookies to flowers at Edible Arrangements today.
Another satisfied customer. At tutor time, discover quality care and early learning. Now enrolling. Schedule a tour today.
I was cycling and was hit, dragged nearly a quarter of a mile from the streets down that on-ramp.
The issues of traffic violence is arguably a public health crisis in the U.S. We are numb as a society to the amount of people who are killed and seriously injured every year. Something that we feel strongly about is that technology should be part of the solution.
I think autonomous driving is a piece of the puzzle.
Yo,
Together is how we're gonna solve it.
back. I thought I'd restart stream.
Norwegian coastal observers reported a service U-boat matching U-320's description on the night of May 3rd, traveling northwest at high speed. The boat was running with minimal lighting, unusual for a vessel supposedly on a combat patrol.
What's up, guys? What's up?
Standard procedure was to remain submerged during daylight and surface only at night to recharge batteries and refresh air.
Yo,
U-320
let's
was moving
get
as
it.
though trying to reach a destination quickly.
Alright.
The wreck
Stream's already up, guys. So if you guys want to join the work stream, we over here, straight chilling,
She should have been
and you guys are invited.
Instead, she had turned south toward waters where Allied naval forces were.
100
This was not the behavior of a boat reaching target.
plus.
This was the behavior of a boat trying to reach a specific location. The forensic analysis of the hull provides the timeline for what happened next. Sonar imaging shows that U-320's ballast tanks were deliberately flooded. The diving planes were set to maximum descent angle. The boat had been sent to the bottom under power, not as a result of damage or failure. Someone had given the order to scuttle, but the evidence inside the hull contradicts the scenario of a standard scuttling operation. When U-boat crews scuttled their vessels, procedure was to open hatches, destroy sensitive equipment, and abandon ship. The crew would take to life rafts or swim to shore if land was close. U-320's crew did not abandon ship. They were still aboard when she went down. The locked conning tower hatch explains why. In a normal scuttling, the hatch would be left open to allow the crew to escape. Here, it had been secured from the outside. The men in the control room would have realized what was happening when the water began rising. They would have tried to reach the escape trunk. They would have found it sealed. Survivor testimony exists from another U-boat that had been in the same Norwegian port as U-320. A radio man who had been transferred to a different boat days before U-320 departed later reported that the crew had been confined to the vessel for 48 hours before sailing. No communication with families was permitted. Armed SS personnel had been observed boarding the boat to supervise cargo loading. The radio man's account, documented in Allied debriefing records, suggested that the crew had been under guard. Whether they knew what they were carrying or why their mission was so sensitive remains unknown. What is clear is that someone at a higher level of command had decided that U-320 and her crew could not be allowed to fall into Allied hands. The final piece of the timeline comes from the wreck's debris field. Scattered around the submarine are fragments of wooden crates and metal containers. Some had been thrown clear when the boat struck the bottom. Others had been ejected through ruptured sections of the hull. Among the debris, the remotely operated vehicle found something that should not have been there. A Kriegsmarine officer's sidearm lying on the seabed 20 meters from the wreck. The pistol had been fired. One round was missing from the magazine. Naval forensic experts theorized that an officer aboard U-320 may have tried to stop the scuttling. A struggle may have occurred in the control room. The shot may have killed the officer attempting to surface the boat, or the officer carrying out the scuttling order. There is no way to know. What is certain is that the boat went down with her crew trapped inside, and someone on evacuating assets and eliminating evidence of war crimes. U-boats provided one means of moving people and materials out of Europe. Declassified intelligence documents show that Allied forces were aware of this activity. British and American naval intelligence tracked suspected SS evacuation missions throughout April and May of 1945. Some boats were intercepted, others reached South America. A few were never accounted for. U-320 appears to have been part of this shadow operation. The cargo she carried, documents and materials marked with SS insignia, suggest she was transporting records that the organization wanted hidden. The uranium documents found in her hold indicate that research materials, possibly related to Germany's nuclear program, were also aboard. But U-320 never reached her destination. Whether her crew was aware of the true nature of their mission remains unclear. What is clear is that someone in the SS command structure decided that the boat could not be allowed to surrender. The risk of the cargo falling into Allied hands was deemed unacceptable. The order to scuttle would have come from Flensburg, where remnants of the German government were operating under Donitz's novel leadership. But the order to seal the crew inside would have come from someone with SS authority. This was not a military decision. This was an act of murder disguised as operational necessity. Similar incidents occurred throughout the final weeks of the war. Concentration camp records show that SS personnel executed prisoners who might have served as witnesses to atrocities. Intelligence agents eliminated collaborators who knew too much. U-320's crew became victims of the same ruthless calculus. They had seen the cargo. They had participated in a mission that was never officially documented. They could not be allowed to talk. The man who likely gave the final order was never identified. Flensburg's records from early May 1945 are incomplete. Many documents were destroyed before Allied forces arrived. The SS officers, who might have known the truth, either died in the war's final days or disappeared into the chaos of occupied Germany. But the pattern is consistent with other SS operations in the same period. Secrecy was paramount. Witnesses were eliminated. The Ghent was destroyed. And when destruction was not possible, evidence was hidden where it would never be found.
No
The
fighting.
locked hatch on U-320's conning tower was not an accident. It was a deliberate act. Someone stood on that deck, secured the mechanism, and condemned 49 men to death. And then, that same person ensured the boat would sink far from shore, in waters deep enough that discovery seemed unlikely. For 79 years, the strategy worked. U-320 remained lost, her cargo hidden, her crew's fate unknown. The official record listed her as missing, presumed lost in combat. No investigation was conducted. No questions were asked. Case closed. Until the sonar found her, and the cameras revealed what had been done. The reckoning. The discovery of U-320 forced German authorities into an uncomfortable position. The wreck is a war grave, protected under international law, but it is also a crime scene. 49 men were murdered, and evidence of that murder lies on the seabed off Denmark. German naval historians who reviewed the forensic documentation confirmed what the scans suggested. This was not a combat loss. This was not an accident. This was an execution. The crew had been sealed inside their boat and essentially that prioritized terrorism over human. Descendants of the crew had spent decades believing their grandfathers and great-grandfathers had died fighting. The truth is more disturbing. They died because they were inconvenient. They died because someone in a position of authority decided their lives mattered less than protecting whatever was in those crates. The uranium compounds found aboard raised questions that may never be answered. Germany's nuclear weapons program was nowhere near producing a functioning bomb by May 1945. But research had been conducted. Materials had been refined. And as the Allied armies closed in, decisions were made about what to preserve and what to destroy. If U-320 was carrying research materials or samples from that program, the SS may have intended to move them beyond Allied reach. Similar efforts were documented. U-234, the boat that surrendered to American forces carrying uranium oxide, proved that such missions were real. The is that U-234's commander chose to surrender. U-320's crew was not given that choice. The documents found in the cargo hold, those marked with SS insignia, will never be recovered. The seawater has reduced them to fragments, but their presence confirms that U-320 was carrying institutional records that the SS wanted hidden. Personnel files, operational logs, evidence of activities that would become war crimes once the Nuremberg trials began. Sealing that evidence on the seafloor was the final act of an organization that had spent 12 years perfecting the machinery of secrecy and murder. The SS had killed millions in camps, in ghettos. 49 more deaths aboard a doomed submarine, barely registered. It was simply operational efficiency applied to a logistical problem. No one was ever prosecuted for what happened to U-320. The officers who gave the orders are long dead. The SS command structure that authorized the mission was dismantled in 1945. Justice, in any conventional sense, is impossible, but the wreck itself serves as evidence. The locked hatch, the sealed compartments, the cargo hold filled with materials that someone wanted hidden. These are not ambiguous. They tell a story of institutional cruelty that extended even to the regime's own personnel. The families of the crew now know that their ancestors did not die in combat. They died because they were betrayed by the system they served. Whether that knowledge brings closure or simply adds another layer of grief is not for outsiders to judge. What is clear is that the official narrative, the one that listed U-320 as missing in action and moved on, was incomplete. The truth was lying on the seabed, waiting for technology advanced enough to find it. Closing. U-320 remained on the bottom of the North Sea at a 70 meters depth. Danish and German authorities have designated the site a protected war grave under international maritime law. No salvage operations are permitted. No artifacts will be recovered. The bodies of 49 men will stay where they were sent on a May morning in 1945 when someone sealed them inside their submarine and flooded the tanks. The uranium compounds found in the cargo hold remain exactly where they were placed 79 years ago. The documents marked with SS insignia, reduced now to fragments dissolved by decades of salt water, will never be read. Whatever secrets they contained died with the crew who transported them. The locked hatch that condemned those men still bears the marks of the mechanism that sealed it from the outside. But the three-dimensional scans, the forensic documentation, the photographic evidence captured by remotely operated vehicles, these are now part of the permanent record. The AI-driven reconstruction allows researchers to examine every detail of the wreck without disturbing the grave itself. Future historians will have access to data that previous generations could only speculate about. The wreck has testified in ways that no survivor ever could. For the families of the crew, descendants now 3 and 4 generations removed from the men who died, the discovery brought a truth more bitter than the uncertainty they had lived with. 79 years of believing their grandfathers and great-grandfathers had perished fighting. 79 years of honoring sacrifices made in combat. All of it based on a lie. The men of U-320 did not die in battle. They died because someone in the SS command structure decided that secrecy mattered more than their lives. The institutional pattern is impossible to ignore. The Third Reich murdered millions in concentration camps and execution pits. It destroyed entire communities in pursuit of ideological purity. And in its final days, as Allied armies closed in and defeat became certain, it turned that same ruthless machinery on its own personnel. Witnesses were eliminated. Redens was destroyed. And when destruction was not sufficient, evidence was buried in places where it was never supposed to be found. U-320 was meant to be one of those places. Deep enough that salvage seemed improbable. Remote enough that discovery was unlikely. The calculation was sound by 1945 standards. No one could have anticipated autonomous underwater vehicles, AI-powered sonar mapping, or remotely operated submersibles capable of documenting a wreck site in millimeter story still unchallenged, missing in action, presumed lost in combat. Case closed. The wreck tells a different truth, and that truth, preserved in the steel and silence on the seafloor, is all that remains of 49 men who were betrayed by the very forces they had sworn to serve.
Texas is feeling unlucky. Nuclear-powered missile
Mm.
became key part of Western defense.
For over a year, a destroyed Cold War submarine sat sealed on the ocean floor. When scientists finally lifted it and opened the hull, what they found stunned everyone.
Also, to the heterogeneous history and during the history level or total
The blast damage was expected, but no one expected were the signs that a small group of sailors had survived long after the explosions. Long enough to leave behind a message the world was never meant to see. The Cold War carrier killer that should never have gone down. Kursk was not just a submarine. It was built as a carrier killer, a type of boat the Soviet Union designed to go after United States aircraft carrier groups during the Cold War. It belonged to the Oscar II class, a line of huge nuclear-powered cruise missile submarines. Each one was about 510 feet long and close to 60 feet wide, with a submerged weight of roughly 19,000 tons, about twice that of a large destroyer. Deep inside, two pressurized water nuclear reactors drove steam turbines with twin propellers, giving the boat high speed underwater and the ability to stay submerged for up to about 120 days at a time. Along the outside of the pressure hull, hidden behind angled doors, sat one of the main reasons other navies worried about this class. Kursk carried 24 P-700 Granite cruise missiles. Each missile was about 33 feet long, weighed several tons, and was built to fly hundreds of miles at very high speed toward big surface ships. They could be armed with either a very large high-explosive warhead or a nuclear warhead, and they were meant to be fired in groups so they could share targeting information and pick out the most valuable ship in a formation, usually the carrier. On top of that missile battery, Kursk's bow held 8 torpedo tubes. 4 were the standard size for regular torpedoes. 4 were wider, built for very heavy torpedoes designed to kill large ships with a single hit. Those tubes could fire both torpedoes and rocket-powered anti-ship or anti-submarine missiles. Officially, all of these weapons could be fitted with nuclear warheads if needed. But by the late 1990s, the Navy that owned this monster sub was in bad shape. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the Russian Northern Fleet lost money, manpower, and fuel. Reports from that time described submarines sitting tied to the pier and rusting, with very little maintenance carried out on anything that was not absolutely frontline. Sailors sometimes went unpaid. Training time at sea dropped sharply, which meant crews had fewer chances to practice complex tasks with real weapons. Even in that rough period, the Northern Fleet still wanted to show that it was a serious blue water navy, able to operate far from home. In August 2000, commanders scheduled a big naval drill in the Barents Sea called Summer X. It was the first major exercise of that scale since the end of the Soviet Union, and the plan called for more than 50 ships and submarines, 40 support vessels, and around 80 aircraft and helicopters. Kursk was assigned as one of the stars of the show, with a crew that had recently been praised as the best in the Northern Fleet. Although this was supposed to be a drill, Kursk was allowed to sail with a full load of live weapons. It was one of the few submarines trusted to carry combat missiles and torpedoes even during peacetime exercises. On the first day, it fired a Granite missile with a dummy warhead in a test that went well. After that, the plan was simple. Barents Sea, about 85 miles off the fleet's main base at Severomorsk, and launched practice torpedoes at the nuclear battlecruiser Pyotr Veliky, the flagship of the fleet. The weapon chosen for the key practice shot was a Type 65 Kit heavy torpedo, more than 30 feet long and built to home in on the wake of a large ship. The version carried by Kursk used high-test peroxide as part of its fuel system. High-test peroxide is a very strong hydrogen peroxide. In normal use, it breaks down inside the torpedo's engine into superhot steam and oxygen, which then burn with kerosene to drive the weapon forward at high speed. Other navies have stopped using that kind of fuel because it is so unstable. If the liquid leaks and touches certain metals or dirt inside a confined space, it can suddenly decompose, expand thousands of times in volume, and create a blast. The practice torpedo loaded into one of Kursk's wide tubes had a faulty weld in its casing. That crack let high-test peroxide seep out where it should not have been. When it met metal that acted like a catalyst, the peroxide broke down at once into hot gas and oxygen. Pressure inside the tube shot up until the kerosene tank ruptured, and in one burst, the torpedo turned into just before 11:30 in the morning on August 12, 2000. Sensors across northern Europe picked up a small underwater blast in the Barents Sea. The shock registered about 2.2 on the scale used to measure earthquakes, equal to somewhere around 100 to a few hundred pounds of TNT. That was the first explosion. Inside the forward torpedo room of Kursk, it blew off the inner and outer doors of the affected tube, tore through the first compartment, and started a fire that ripped into the second compartment through a ventilation duct. Everyone in those forward spaces died in an instant or within a few seconds. Inside the submarine, people in the control room and nearby compartments would have felt a huge kick. Lights and equipment shook, alarms went off, and the front of the boat began to flood. But the worst was still coming. Fire and heat spread across the torpedo room where other weapons were stored. Between 5 and 7 more torpedo warheads cooked off almost together, creating a second explosion about 2 minutes and 15 seconds after the first. That blast was measured at about 4.2 on the seismic scale and was roughly 2 to 3 tons of TNT, more than 200 times stronger than the first one. The second blast tore open a huge section of Kursk's bow, crushed bulkheads, and collapsed the first 3 compartments. The force drove a large chunk of the nose backward and left a terrifying hole in the front of the double hull, as one early report put it. The forward part of the submarine drove into the soft seabed. Behind that ruin, though, the rest of the pressure hull somehow held together. The nuclear reactors shut down automatically, just as they were designed to do in an emergency, and compartments in the middle and rear of the boat stayed mostly watertight. The wreck settled at a depth of about 108 meters, or roughly 350 feet, on the floor of the Barents Sea. On the surface, nearby ships felt the shocks, and some crew members heard or reported the strange sounds. But no one at first understood that a frontline nuclear submarine had just blown itself apart. Commanders believed the exercise was still underway. It took until early evening for the Northern Fleet to accept that something was wrong. Only after Kursk failed several check-ins and attempts to contact it by radio and underwater telephone went nowhere, did they declare an emergency and launch a formal search. By then, more than 6 hours had passed since the first explosion. Rescue ships and aircraft began to sweep the exercise area. In the early hours of the next day, a specialist vessel with deep diving equipment reached the suspected position and lowered a small rescue submarine. That mini-sub actually bumped into Kursk's stern once, damaging itself in the process, and had to be brought back to the surface for repairs. Another rescue craft was launched, but was sent on the wrong heading and missed the wreck entirely. Through all this, family members back at the home base in Vidyayevo were told as little as possible, and early public statements from the Navy spoke only of technical difficulties and a submarine that had descended to the ocean floor, with all crew still alive. As the hours turned into days, the problems stacked up. The main Russian rescue mini-sub, AS-34, tried again and again to latch onto the escape hatch over the rear compartment, but could not get a proper seal. Bad weather, strong currents, and equipment failures kept breaking off attempts. Inside Russia and abroad, pressure grew to accept foreign help. The United States, Britain, Norway, and others all offered advanced rescue systems. For several days, Russian leaders refused, saying they had the situation under control. President Vladimir Putin stayed on holiday at a resort on the Black Sea and was later heavily criticized for not returning to Moscow at once. Only on the fifth day after the disaster did Russia finally allow British and Norwegian teams to join the effort. A Norwegian ship brought a modern rescue submarine and experienced divers.
Alright, I'm about to actually go cook something to eat. I'm freaking hungry, dude.
Escape hatch and open it. More than a week had passed since Kursk went down. They found the rear compartment flooded and no survivors. All 118 men on board were dead. For more than a year it stayed there. And the ship was still tuned in the shallow water. During that time, the country argued over one tough question. Where it was, or take the huge risk of